Good morning, guys. We've got Psalms 55 today. Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not yourself from my plea for mercy. Attend to me and answer me. I am restless in my complaint, and I moan. Because of the noise of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they drop trouble upon me, and in anger they bear a grudge against me. My heart is in anguish within me, and the terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fear and trembling come upon me, and horror overwhelms me. And I say, oh, that I had wings like a dove, I would fly away and be at rest. Yes, I would wander far away, I would lodge in the wilderness. I would hurry to find a shelter from the raging wind and tempest. We've still got David running from Saul here. The Ziphites were basically going to hand him over, and they had told Saul that they knew where he was as well. So he's still hiding. I'm not sure if he was still in the rocks at this time or just hiding out among them. But he's saying, if I had wings, I would fly away and get away from this. It reminds me of that scene from Forrest Gump where Forrest and Jenny are in the field and her dad's on a rage. She's praying, Lord, give me wings like a bird so that I can fly away from all this trouble. And she keeps repeating it over and over. And there's so many times that we're in a situation where, like, God, just deliver me out of this. Get me as far away from it as possible. But sometimes he makes us walk through the situation as well and not just get out of it. That's one of the things that he had told me is you can't just run from your troubles. You've got to go through the troubles because it's building you. It's making you stronger. And we know that David was on the run for a long time as well from Saul. And I mean, it was one thing after another with him. But when I read that verse, give ear to me, or give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not yourself from my plea for mercy. Attend to me and answer me. I am restless in my complaint and moan. It reminded me of something else that I was just reading this morning in Luke 18. It was 18:4, where the persistent widow is going to the king, and was it the king or a judge? She was going to the judge, and she kept asking him over and over again, have justice on me, have mercy on me. And he said that even though he didn't fear God nor respect man, because she was so persistent, basically bothering him, giving him a hard time, that he was going to look upon her and give her justice that day. But then 18:6 says, and the Lord said, hear what the unrighteous judge says. And will not God give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them? I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, he will find faith on earth. And it just made me think about a situation that we've been praying about. And I said, Lord, I'm standing on this promise today. You said that you will give justice to the elect, to the righteous. We've been praying for something for years and years, and you've promised us that you've decreed and declared it. Even yesterday at church, we wrote it on a piece of paper and left it at the altar and stood upon it and said, we are standing on your word here. You are bringing forth the justice. There's not going to be delay any longer. And we see that David himself had even said, give me justice. Hear my plea. Let's see. Ramsey. He says, my heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fear and trembling come upon me, and horror overwhelms me. Oh, I'd already read that part. I'm sorry, guys. Destroy, O Lord, divide their tongues, for I see violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go around on its walls, and iniquity and troubles are within it. Ruins in its midst, oppression and fraud. Do not depart from its marketplace. I feel like we've all been in a situation like this where there's fraud, there's deception, there's a twisting of words going on every side. And, you feel like you are surrounded sometimes, especially with the image that I get that day and night they go around on its walls. The cities back in those days had these huge walls around it, and then people would take guard around the top. And how would you not feel surrounded in a situation like that? Like the enemy is on every side of you. But it reminds me of that song, "It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you." And even though the enemy tries and comes to boast about, he's going to fall. He's always going to fall and be defeated. For it's not an enemy who taunts me, then I could bear it. It's not an adversary who deals insolently with me, then I could hide from him. But it's you, a man, my equal, my companion, my familiar friend. How many times have we had somebody that we thought was trustworthy, a friend to us, a confidant, and then all of a sudden you see them turn on you, and you see things that are being done against you? We used to take sweet counsel together within God's house. We walked in the throng. Let death steal over them. Let them go down to Sheol alive, for evil is in their dwelling place and in their heart. You guys, this is Old Testament dist here. He is saying, let them go down to hell alive. Not let them go to hell or deal with something, but he is saying, I am so done with these people. Let them go down to Sheol alive. I mean, you can't get more of an Old Testament dist than that. But I call to God, and the Lord will save me. David is consistent in his faith here. Evening and morning and at noon, I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice. He redeems my soul in safety from the battle that I wage, for many are arrayed against me. He's saying, I am complaining, I am moaning, I am groaning, but God is still hearing my voice. He's going to redeem me. He is going to keep me safe against every strategic plot of the enemy that he's putting against me. God will give ear and humble them, for he is enthroned from of old, because they do not change and do not fear God. My companion stretched out his hand against his friends. He violated his covenant. His speech was as smooth as butter, yet war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. We've all known people who talked eloquently, great speeches, but you know that there's deceit in their heart and that there's evil and sin in their heart as well. And I think that's what David was dealing with here. But then he comes out, and even after saying these people are coming after me, they need to go to Sheol alive and basically pay for what they've done, he says, cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. But you, O God, will cast them down into the pit of destruction. Men of blood and treachery shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in you. So even in the face of trouble, adversaries coming against him, being surrounded, he's saying, I'm still going to keep trusting in God. I'm not going to give up. He keeps petitioning God. He keeps praising God even in the midst of the storms and the circumstances. And he keeps standing strong on his faith.